Good morning, class, and welcome to your lesson overview for your 2-point perspective unit. This video will discuss your learning goals, essential questions, and vocabulary for the project. It's just a basic introduction before we get started. So your learning goals, we have 8 of them for the assignment because there's so much to take in from this project. Just to discuss them, we will first describe the difference between 1 and 2-point perspective, since a 2-point perspective drawing is a continuation of what you all learned in 7th grade the year prior, where we're going to have 2 vanishing points instead of 1. Then we're going to give examples on how perspective can be creatively used to design a city, building, or interior design. Then we'll recognize that details in a complex perspective drawing must also follow linear perspective guidelines. So what that means is it's one thing to draw a building or space in 2-point perspective, but all the details like doors, windows, drawers, cabinets, rugs, flooring, anything, everything must follow the same rules of linear perspective. Then you also should be able to compare and contrast various 1-point and 2-point perspective examples. So you can tell the difference between one or the other. Then you'll create a complex drawing by using linear 2-point perspective rules. So that learning goal number 5 is essentially what we're doing for our project, is create a drawing of either an interior space, an exterior building, or an entire city landscape using 2-point perspective. We will also demonstrate the ability to incorporate the details as discussed above. Then you'll be able to write a self-reflection on the process. So basically an artist statement. You're going to write one at the end of the project, as you will with all your projects. And then you'll constructively participate in a group critique of student artwork. We're going to be doing that with every assignment as well. Your lesson essential questions are: first, how do artists accurately depict their surroundings? We'll be talking about adding depth in space, which essentially answers that question and is what linear perspective creates in an artwork. And then, how does 1 and 2-point perspective help the viewer better understand the dynamics of space? That's a question that we'll definitely be building on our understanding of as the days go on, but essentially, again, goes back to that word depth of making things look smaller as they go back into space and larger as they get closest up to us, to make it look like that space is realistic from our perspective and that we could actually even enter the space of that artwork at first glance. And then your vocabulary words, you have 8 as you always do. Your words are 2-point perspective, horizon line, depth, vanishing point, space, foreground, background, and middle ground. All of these words and definitions apply to your project and even the production of the project. So they are important, and you will be introduced to each one of those words with each day of the assignment. And lastly, with the summative assessment, I am assessing that you created a 2-point perspective artwork using the drawing tools provided, such as a ruler and using the specific technique. I'll grade you on your art production rubric. That's worth 100 points for your final project. You'll do a learning log where you're going to complete that artist statement that was mentioned above. That is worth 28 points. Then you'll do a critique as a class of each other's artwork halfway through the project. And you'll also be doing your daily entrance ticket assignments, which are worth 2 points to introduce the vocabulary so that when it's time to do the learning log at the end of the unit, you'll understand all the vocab so you can complete the vocabulary section of that as well. All right, that's it for the lesson overview. Everything will be explained in more detail as the days go on, but you guys should have a general idea of the project before you jump into the first day's folder. All right, guys, I look forward to starting this project with you, and I'll see you all shortly in the lesson directions video below. All right, bye, everyone.